Okay. Okay, that's a technical difficulties. Thank you for your patience. I don't know. Wait, where'd I go? Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay, I was having the most technical difficulty, y'all. Y'all, give me let me get my anxiety down because I gotta get this commentary out because I got a few, um, let's say, students who need to go carry what I got to say over to where they can go, hey Hassan, they have to carry what I have to say over to try and regurgitate it and give their people something. But there's due to the lack of educated folk on here who know how to understand um these type of issues and just break it down real easy for the simple-minded folk. They need me for that. Okay, so give me a second because I was really caught in the issue, but yeah, I worked it out. I see the new features on here. So y'all go ahead since I got a minute, and then I'm gonna get this out. I'm not gonna rush through it, but uh, y'all know how I'm a freestyler real quick. Okay, so give me a minute. I won't take too long. Okay.
This beach is better.
Y'all get your orange juice. Get real bougie. We gonna still talk about that because I got something to say. No, no. We pushing back. I don't know about the rest of y'all. You know, I can only speak for myself. So good luck. Best of luck to you all when you're left behind. Okay. So we're gonna talk about that. And we're gonna start with the men, and then we're gonna come throw some shade at some of the women. Because I don't think you got any right to saying nothing about what I'm doing. But some of y'all, you don't need to say anything. What you need to be doing is calling me and asking me for the blueprint or at least some tips so you can figure out. Well, I don't know if you're gonna pull this off.
This beach is better.
Okay, okay. Thank you for being patient, y'all. When I tell y'all I was about to throw the whole laptop, okay, across the room because I could not. I had a button stuck. It was a glitch. AT&T been glitching for like 4 days now, and Verizon. I'm gonna need for them to stop doing that, okay? Because y'all know I barely do streams, barely do stream, y'all, barely really want to get into the to some commentary. Hey, Riaz, I see you. Hassan, you come back. Hi, Hassan. Um, hey, Fred. Hey, Dub. Okay, it's just us. So listen, y'all. Listen. Thank y'all for being patient with me. And you know, y'all can always come up and hang out with your girl. But I'm gonna go quickly over some points because some people, like I'm serious, they really need me. They depend on what comes out of my mouth so that they can move forward. See, that's how this operates. Okay, that's how this new world order is operating. Okay. Let's piss off all the conscious people and use every indoctrinated word I could think of so I can make you guys upset because you've given me that power to do so. So I will use every indoctrinated word I could think of. Did nobody tell y'all to go putting folks on pedestals like that? So y'all saw my title, right? Hungry, homeless, cold, and dark. Okay, this is concerning current events. Only reason I didn't put jobless on there because I put shut down. I assume everybody would understand and be on topic. But I'm going to go back and add that because I didn't think about putting jobless on there. But these are the results. Riaz, you were here. Okay, you were here for the conversation. I briefly started back in June. I remember back in June. Okay, on my original video when the first threat was made that there were going to be powers that be playing around with certain government resources to see how it will work and how it would affect and how people are going to jump, how people are going to move, how people are going to shake, who going to break, who's being fake, who can hold it down, who out here act like a clown. All right, certain y'all want to, these are past games. Okay, look, this the real life Hunger Games. Look, somebody hashtag Hunger Games. Okay, look, I done came up with the real title. Y'all gonna give me my credit. Y'all, let's make sure. Hold on, let me put it in the chat myself because look, right after that, thanks baby, somebody gonna come through and try to use it. So we're gonna put in here Hunger Games 2026. Hunger Games. All right, hashtag Hunger Games 2026 because that's exactly what has began. Okay, we talked about this in June, all the possibilities, but just like before, and as per usual, guess what? Some of you all came up and said, "Oh, they always saying that, you know, they were threatening that thing. They don't ever really do that, you know." Oh, really? So are you sure about that? Because I'm reading this and this seems to be pretty precise and based on them continuously attacking and targeting just a certain group of people in a certain way. I think this is probably going to be the time it's going to happen. You know, there's a certain thing you all we players say we you know, we say we like to practice for the practice, and winners say we play the way we practice. Do I need to say that again? I know y'all don't always get the lingo, so I'm going to say this again. The players say practice for the practice. And the winners say how you practice is how you play. Y'all got that? We all got that? So you got to practice for your practice before you play. And how you practice is how you play. One time for the realists up in here. They don't get no more realer than BG, y'all. Okay, they be giving you all these foo-foo words, trying to sound like journalists that they have no credentials to be, trying to come out like they just got their doctorate over there in English when they haven't even gotten their GED. We don't do that over here. We keep a real player talk, okay? We have already been practicing for the practice, and how you practice is how you play. Now we are playing. Practice time is over, okay? We're playing now. Y'all, we in the Hunger Games, okay? We are in the real life Hunger Games. Real life. Real life Hunger Games, because it's son. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna remind the people and the order of without a I didn't need a broadcaster. I didn't need a representative from the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. I didn't need anything except for an application packet, read through it, go through it, and see what all in this one application packet was included and how it would affect a person, a family. And y'all know what that was? That was the EBT Supplemental Nutrition Program. All I did, that application is available online. I went through every page, and let me tell you, first thing I said was, why they got all this, keep sending people, you can get a paper application, you can print it off, file online, all those things. I went thoroughly through that package, okay? I want to see what's going on here. First thing I thought was, now see, they gave all the people advantage to register for the real quickly with their packet. If y'all start cutting stuff off, go for the people who don't register every time y'all send them out this renewal packet every 6 months, twice a year. Okay, that was something I said, and I happen to have made a point, because as we see, all right, we see as all the non-voters are doing the most. The non-voters out here making threats on our lives, Hassan. You feel me, Dub? The non-voters are out here threatening people's lives over a basket of groceries, okay? And I'm gonna hit on that. So with this application, let me tell you guys, based on, I'm not gonna give you the numbers and figures, because where you work, where you live, and the number of people in your household, that demographic changes literally state by state. So there's no point in saying, like I heard somebody who was wrong over there in the manosphere trying to throw out, oh, you can get $2,000 a month in food stamps with 2 kids. No, you can't. That number is astronomers. That's not close. Where you getting that number from? And the content creator extra ran with it. If I didn't like them, if I hadn't liked them, I would have jumped in and been like, what state are you talking about? And that's really quite an excessive number. But because I didn't like them, I didn't want to help them, okay, with correct information. I'm going to let them be strong and wrong in their era. But if I like you, I'll come out and try to, help y'all a little bit so you ain't looking stupid like old buddy was over there. But so be it. Now, the summer before school began, do you all remember they did 2 days? I know down south, I don't know about up north, but in Alabama and Georgia, they ran a test. 2 days they shut down the EBT, which is food assistance for families. So make sure we're on topic. We're talking about the current crisis. No, we're not talking about no mess over there. We don't care nothing about who said what. We don't care about your feelings. We don't care about who dragging, who snagging. The only thing we're trying to see who dragging buggies or groceries over here. We want to see you dragging a pen, and can you write the way you type? Okay, because a lot of people got a lot to say about nothing, but we know they could not write an essay, let alone a correct paragraph. Look, I'm not, they couldn't write a paper, an entry letter, to get into anything. They don't do those type of writings or typing. So we're not talking about the community wall teachers. We're talking about actual people who know how to get up in front of an audience without any preparation except for what's in your mind and 4 words that I'm about to go off of. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and then I'm gonna add a 5th. Hungry, homeless, cold, and dark. Those 4 topics are all on this same form called the food stamp form. We're just going to keep it to food stamp / EBT, because when you say SNAP, it throw people off and everything. This same application packet is why my title says that. So what I want to hit on real quick. So go ahead, write your notes, guys, because y'all know y'all about to come and Dub, they about to come and steal the words I say and go over there and try to put together a whole show. So I got to get them something because they know who they dealing with when I come in the room. So I'm gonna give them something, Dub. You know, just a little something. Something. I ain't gonna give them specific numbers. They need to go do their own homework, which really isn't that hard to do. Just read the application process and see what it takes. But you know that niggas don't want to read. They just want to copy. You know, they just want to imitate, but you can't duplicate. All right. I always imitate and never duplicate it. Don't forget it. Now, back to the topic at hand. In this application for food stamps that allows you to register your non-registered household to vote, most folks didn't vote. That also allowed you help to get to the polls. They didn't fill that out either. They got the most to say. Well, I'll get into that. I just feel like they should have that same energy they had on election on election day. I just feel like keep the same energy that you had when it was time to vote. Don't try to have no extra energy now because it got real, because it's been real. It's been real. If you would have read the Project 2025, you would have, and you didn't. If you read Project 2025 and didn't get a couple of tears, like the whole page, all what was it, 500 some pages, you didn't read all them to the end and get a little teary-eyed, then I don't know what you're clapping about, because every person going to be affected unless you're sitting up over there in a percentile of people that I highly doubt, unless you remember the cabal. Yeah, I said it. Unless you remember the cabal, unless you're on the committee of the New World Order. Look, you're gonna get affected somehow. My house already got affected on day one of the shutdown. I told you, nobody is getting out of this without blood on your hands. You're not getting out of this situation that they have tied us all in, regardless of your level of education. Actually, some, but I'm gonna say that there is a way out, but it ain't for everybody. And I'm gonna say that's not for this life. But regardless of your level of education, the amount of money in your bank, how your savings, how prepared you are, none of that matter. Baby, when them horsemen come through. Okay, so you know you might not like it. You might not like how I deliver it to them, Frat, but to be quite honest, I mean, I gotta give up. I knew you was coming. The horsemen are riding through doing their jobs. All right. The horsemen are riding through doing their job. So I just want to let them know, since we got a couple of features here, let's get them something. Should we applaud them? Are they doing a good job? Okay. Now, I'm going to give y'all some stuff that you probably didn't know. DLD, you can use this too. In that EBT package application, we covered before already. DOD hit on it, I hit on it, other people hit on it. Hey, in that Project 2025, they want to do cutback on child care resources. We know what that means. Child care resources now isn't just allowing you to get free daycare or daycare reduced for poverty families or mothers or single households to reduce your care for child care. It also gives out diapers, okay, food, for the Stop Childhood Hunger Initiative program. It gives out other little perks too. Who don't want some free diapers? I would have liked to have had some. I mean, child care resources has really grown since my children were small. I could never qualify, but I also didn't know the corners that you could cut, how people get in there and get a lot of this stuff that they really not eligible to get, but they're cutting the corners and getting the game to get it. So now let me tell you all what life would be like right now. Let's pretend I'm a single female out here with multiple children, and I've got a EBT/food stamp application. Okay, we're pretending now. I hear some heartbeats like, oh God. But this is what it's gonna sound like when I get done with this commentary. This is what it sounds like: anxiety on high, all over the internet, probably real fast, and I'm gonna tell you why. In that application, well, first they ask, okay, you need some help with feeding your children of age, and yeah, you say, okay, yeah, I need some, and throw me in a little some too. Okay, so they give you money to purchase, also tax free. All right, tax free groceries. They only limit alcohol and non-food products and tobacco, or everything else included in there, everything up under the sun, from the bakery down to the steaks, from the cakes to the steaks. Okay, from the cakes to the steaks, you can swipe it and that EBT will swipe. Your girl, listen, if it come from me, it's certified. I done already certified this information for you. Now, you trying to get a bottle of wine and all that extra other stuff, you're gonna have to go over to the places that are using illegally illegal operations. We're just talking about legal operations right now. So, okay, you get your food. Now, let's say you got a baby that's still on the tit. Okay, they still need to be fed breast milk. You now apply also for WIC, which is separate than the food stamps, giving you additional benefits. For baby formula, if you did not know, the average can of formula with tax is between $55 and $60. Now, if you are a man, you would not really know how long a can of formula will last. Well, let me tell you, being a woman who was just not able to breastfeed, I couldn't do it. There were just issues. I could not. And I tried all the way till I ended up in the hospital with a serious infection in my breast, trying so hard to make it do what it do. It didn't want to do it. And even though that's been not dang near 20 years ago, it's the point that I really tried. I could not do it. My breast had what we called inverted nipples, where instead of going out, they went in when the baby wanted to suck. So I could not breastfeed. So I had to use formula fed children, who, by the way, turned out quite well. So I'm looking at y'all theory about, or they put some in the formula, then we got these kids all types of ways. I'm not so sure about that, because if that's the case, then at least one of the three of mine should be, should have some of these baby formula symptoms, and I haven't seen that, and they're about grown. Okay, so hey, now the formula, you guys, like I said, it only lasts, I haven't told you, a can of formula for one baby might get you 4 days. Did I say 4 days on $55 for a newborn, for a child? Yes. Now, unless you're going to try to water it down, and you can't, and ration it off and doing some stuff that's just going to really cause more problems for you, because now the baby's stomach messed up, all these other issues going on because you're not doing the formula correct, which is why it's called a formula. You need to follow the formula. You're going to have some issues. Also, you'll have issues if you try to skip the formula and just go straight to processed milk. Your child will have some dietary issues. So we got that on there. So now let's pretend I'm that woman. Now I got food stamps for me and my household. I got some baby formula for me and my baby. Okay, and when the formula, only got so many vouchers for so many cans of formula, and I see when that runs out, instead of going in my pocket or my loser baby daddy who ain't contributing, this is a story, so y'all make sure y'all playing along to the storyline and don't think this is my actual life, okay? My loser baby daddy don't have any money to go get a formula when the can ran out. They only gave me, 4 cans for the month, and one can get me 4 days. That don't even get me a week. So that means I'm short. You do the math, okay? I'm going to need you to add in at least another 4 cans per month, 3 at the very minimum. Times 55, so that's 55 times 4. Now we're at about $205. So I'm gonna need you, y'all. You see what I'm doing the math for y'all? We're gonna freestyle it. We're gonna eyeball and freestyle everything we doing. So that's $200. I need to find somewhere to fill in the gaps for the baby formula. That means EBT is going to give me additional stamps because they're including in there, there's a baby. When you got children 5 and under, which they include that extra allotted amount, because people breastfeed up to the age of 5. Believe it or not, you got some people in kindergarten still on the tit. Okay, yes, you do. So they want to add, that's why there's supplementary, it's supposed to be supplementary nutritional, the supplement in where the households can't hold. But as we will come to conclude by the end of this live, supplement my ass, they completely relied on this entire system. Now we got formula because my loser baby daddy don't have, and I don't have the $200 to put in for when the milk runs out per month, and we don't want to we can't go without. Can't starve the baby. I mean, a sleeping child might go to sleep, but a baby gonna cry. They're not gonna cry themselves to sleep. You're gonna have to feed them something. So you're gonna use that EBT card to fill in the gaps of the WIC vouchers that would have gave me baby milk. So we now everybody eating good, right? Well, also on this application, they ask you, do you need any cash benefits? Would you like some cash? I looked at it per state, except for New York, and that has a completely different rate. Let's say down south, it was about, it's not a lot. It's very little money. It's very, very, very little money. I mean, the fact that there are people that reproduce just for the additional amount on children, I know they do cut it off at 8. I don't think that's changed. After the 8th child, you ain't getting $1 more. All right, so it looks like it's roughly 2 children get you somewhere in the 200s. You don't get any more money. Whatever you get for 1 child, you get it for 2. You can't get any more welfare. Keep up now, because y'all need this for your commentary until you get to the 3rd child. So if you have 2, let's say you stuck at 200 on cash benefits, and you want more, well, you got to produce a 3rd child. So then it's going to go, let's say from 2 to let's just say 275.3. If you want to go past that, well, then you're going to need a 4th child, because 3, if you had a 4th child, let's say you didn't really want one, but you up and got pregnant, you realize you want more money. Well, now you're going to need to go over to the 5th. You see how they do that? So per 2 children is how they kind of govern how cash will be dispersed. I know y'all probably like, dang, she really went deep into this. Yes, I did. Okay, we like math, we like numbers over here, we like science, right, DOD? So yeah, can $50 to $60. That's everywhere. That's from Walmart to Publix, to, you know, the lowest. They have a cap on the formula, so people won't go out here and abuse that. And you know what our FDA was supposed to be regulating, that's shut down, and folks act like didn't matter so much, like the FDA wasn't very important. Hey Hassan, I see you. Acting like the FDA wasn't so important that regulated these things. And because they're shut down, all the formula is, by the way, being snatched off the shelves. And before I go any further, Hassan, hey, I'm glad you came up. Before I go any further with that, we were wondering, why would they snatch the baby formula off the stage? Because you just see the price. Hold on, let me get back over there and highlight that, because I know I talk not too fast to keep up with, but some people just, you know, they're just gonna have to get it how they get it. So will you hear me good? Okay, Hassan, I'm gonna let you jump in. I just don't want to lose my thought.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, we're on the $50 to $60 for the can. This is not the jumbo can. This is a regular size can of formula for 1 baby. This is not if there were a preemie and needed special milk. That can started off at $61. Oh, I did the price searching. If you have a preemie or a child born with any gestational complications, born early, whatever, their milk starts off at $60. But for the average regular baby, yes. So we're going to, from $50 to $60 is what you're getting your formula for about 4 days. That's not gonna even feed them for a whole week. Can don't last a week. Anybody milk lasting a week for a can, they stretching it out with extra water per pound. They're not sticking to the formula. Okay, they cutting the milk. Can we all just say they cutting the formula? They are cutting the formula. That's not, if you follow the instructions and do like it says, so that your child will get the appropriate nutrients, that can is going to get you 4, maybe 5 days at best. Now, we did the math, told you that's another $200 some you got to come up with for the rest of the month to feed your baby. Depending on how you rocking and rolling, most folks just use their EBT card, because if you're getting the WIC, you're probably getting food stamps too. So they just use that to make up the difference with the formula. I lock that in there, and no, look, if I run out of food, if you got to run out of something, you don't want to run out of baby formula. Like if you run out of a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk, that's not that hard to come up with. Run out of can of formula, now you're talking about something y'all got to come up with $60, 55 at the low. I mean, come on. You see where I'm going? So you can probably feed some children peanut butter sandwiches and a cup of milk, whether or not they like it or not. Look, this is what you got to eat. You're going to eat that peanut butter sandwich and that cup of milk and go to bed. But you can't tell a baby that. A baby needs formula, okay? So unless you want to have a bunch of starving children and malnutrition become an issue here in America, they need that can of formula. I'm going to pin that thought, okay? I'm going to get to the application and Hassan, because I don't want to forget, and then you jump in. So now I've showed y'all where the food's lining in. Also with that WIC, you're going to add the fruits, the vegetables, some other little knickknacks, some cereal, some other things for toddlers that are probably in the house. They give you that. Where some people, pay attention to the commentary that you all are watching, because some of these women are here lying. All right, WIC hasn't shut down. They're reducing. They realize we can't just starve babies. We would be the worst people ever. They don't want to just say, the devil don't want to show his horns all the way. So they're going to take off some of the little knickknacks, the snacks, the fruits and vegetables. If the baby can't eat it, basically they're going to just take that off. They're only going to feed the baby now. No more peanut butter, cheese, fruits and veggies, and some juices. They would throw in extra things on those vouchers too. For the other little kids, they're saying, nah, we can't do that no more. The baby get his milk, and the rest of those kids going to have to, y'all can figure something out because they can eat solid food. That's how that's going to go. So don't believe anybody that's hopping out here talking about, I can't feed my, hold on now. They kind of reaching. They're not being honest with what's going on with the reduction with WIC. WIC has not been deleted. EBT is paused. And I'm going to stop right there because I just had to throw that out there because there are some women I already seen coming out here acting like they're not getting nothing for the baby, no vouchers. Like, come on now. They don't want to sound that bad. So they are still getting the milk card. The others vouchers aren't available. I have not heard. And the way they give vouchers, they don't give you one every month. They usually give you like 3 months worth of vouchers. So people already got that stuff printed out who have a baby. Now, if you are new having a child, you're going to have an issue getting it because the government shut down and there's nobody to come in and qualify you for WIC. So you just out of luck. But anybody that's currently on that program, you should be okay getting your baby's milk. Let me stop there. Hassan, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Peachy?
I'm good. Were you out here getting a walk-in?
Yeah. And I saw you live. I don't think I've been on your panel before. So you want to hit Peach?
Yeah, I don't drop it much. That's why I said I'm gonna come in and hey Red, I'm gonna come in with it and let the people get what they need, and they can go run and spend 7 hours, 8 talking about this stuff that I know how to dish out real quick, But I'm gonna let them take it and go do 7-8 hours of nothingness. But I'm gonna give y'all a real good meal. So Hassan, you caught on with the monies, right? And the differences with the formula and the food stamps. You were able to catch that part. We're still talking about this application packet that I'm about to get into why I got hungry, homeless, cold, and dark on the title. Now, the homeless part on this same application is posted. It's just for food. This is a trap, y'all. This is how people get trapped and sucked into complete desperation in a time like this, because that application also asks, well, what type of housing do you have, and do you need help with housing? Well, a person that doesn't need help with housing, they're just there for the food, they're just going to skip past it and not really try to, check that box because, they got a roof over their head, so they're all right. But then you have some greedy, or they feel like, oh, hold on, I want to live, can I get some free rent? Can I get on the list for section? You have those that they have the ability to pay the rent, they just don't want to do it. So they're going to click that box and wait for their time to come up to get the free housing. Now, okay, you got your free housing, you got your food. So what's next, right? What's next? Oh, well, then there's a box on the application that says what type of there's questions. They say, well, do you have utilities at your house? Is there electricity? I guess some people are still living out here in the woods or Amish. Or, well, I don't know. Why would you ask somebody? Do you need electricity and heating? Yeah, somebody need that. We all need electricity and heating, but what they're asking really is, do you need help with those? We have an assistant called Leap, and in this program, we will help your family by paying utilities. So now, if you just greedy and just rubbing your palms together with your loser baby daddy and and family, y'all gonna say, hold on, well, let's get some free lights too. Well, I want to pay my gas bill. Tell them it's cold. We don't have any heating. Then you get assistance for now. You're getting the electricity and you getting heating. So you got food, which is what you came there for in the first place. But somehow you end up leaving with housing, your utilities, possibly cash, daycare, all the programs. There's another stuff. Do I have medical? This one application, y'all, got more questions for more services than anything I've ever seen in my life. I didn't even get on the insurance. I'm not even going to go there because that's going to take me another 25 minutes. And y'all know I don't like to take a long time. And then some might want to have something that he want to add. Then they get to the Medicaid. Do you got health insurance? Do you need some? Do you need if you, and I'm for that. Yeah, get the kids some Medicaid. Let them go to the doctors and get, checkups and all that. Just because you're poverty does not mean you need to be sickly. So guess what though? Do you need a ride? Well, yeah. So now you're getting people to take you to the doctor. You're just getting the carpet of I ain't got nothing. I don't have no help. I don't have nobody. I'm sitting here with a lantern and a candle. You please turn my lights on. You got to really play that role of being absolutely despair and without nothing to get this stuff. Now keep in mind, just because you check the box don't mean you're gonna get it. You got to actually play in the part, which in that part, guess what it is? A whole bunch of lying. You're going to have to lie your ass off, okay? You're going to have to, yes, baby, you're going to have to bear false witness for all you folks that like to get out there and play Christian. You got to go quoting stuff, but it's mighty funny. They'll never quote their sins, but they're too busy trying to quote everybody else's. You're going to have to bear false witness. I don't know what some of you all do with your not reporting your YouTube income. Yeah, I know. Right. You gotta have to lie. Like how y'all be lying on your taxes so you can try to get a higher cut. Yeah, you're gonna have to lie now in this application and get all of that. Okay, you're gonna have to do some lying. You're gonna and conniving, no finessing, some just straight up bold-faced lying. Now you're in a predicament right now when the government shutdown happens. Remember we discussed this on that last panel, DOD? Remember we talked about everybody's house gonna feel it, and it wasn't what 3 to 4 hours later I got off that panel, and my son in the United States Air Force who does air traffic control said, yeah, mama, they told us we're not gonna be getting paid. But y'all tried to tell me like I didn't already know what's going on. Let's just say I know before I know. I might be a couple steps ahead. Hassan, you want to jump in real quick before I go a little bit deeper?
Yeah. Oh, what up, red lipstick? But did you see the videos about this females and some dude say we're gonna rob stuff if I don't get my food stamp on November 1st?
Yes. What's up? I see you down there, Silver Fox, with your handsome self. There are many people. There's not just one video of people threatening. First of all, y'all see, we did this. Me and DLD, like we told y'all in June, they was about to start putting chains on the chicken. They were gonna put those sensors for stealing on the steaks and meat to catch you all. You're gonna have to start asking. They're gonna be bringing butchers back, and you have to ask them to cut your meat. They're gonna walk you to the register to pay for that before you even get out the door. Meat. They've already started doing that. Well, see, we were speaking this in June. It took to October, almost November, before people actually want to take it serious now.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? But, so now let me tell you how they're really trying to test people gangster. They ran 2 tests in school started in August, where they shut down EBT on a Friday and a Monday for the whole day. Wouldn't work. I I did a live, but I didn't do it on that because I had a feeling it was going to come back around. Wanted to save it. Let me tell you guys what me and my daughter witnessed while we're standing in line waiting because it's taking a long time up front. Like, why the line not moving? And over the intercom, someone comes and says, "Attention customers, attention customers." Due to they didn't even have a reason. They just basically said, "Attention customers." Currently, right now, EBT method of payment will not go through. It will not work. We are sorry. You either need to find another form of payment, or if you could kindly push your button to customer service and we will put your groceries back for you. They also bother to tell people, and by the way, don't bother going to another store because all the stores in the entire state EBT systems are shut down. They did this for 2 days the first week of school started. I noticed about that. Number one, timing. The timing. Y'all, wait a minute. Y'all don't never run no test on EBT. What are you talking about? So I thought that sounds ridiculous. Once I found that out, I skipped the part, but I'm gonna come back to the grocery store line. When I looked up what's going on with the EBT shutdown, they said they were running technicality tests. Please, who y'all think y'all fooling? With a click of a button, they can turn your stamps on. They can also press a button and turn them off. I don't know what type of technical difficulty. No, really. If you get on the phone with the wrong caseworker and piss them off, or they don't like your attitude because you called and talking to them crazy, all they have to do is click a button and your stamps are off. And they can click a button, turn it down, which is why I'm going to circle back around with. Also, y'all just want people to be hungry to be hungry because you don't actually need a system open to run that EBT. It runs itself.
Yeah, you're right.
You feel me?
But now, I got a question. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Do you think EBT should be limited for certain people? Like, for example, if you're a single mom and you have kids, you should have it until the kids turn at least 13 and they'll cut it off on you. If you're a single dad, same thing. If you have like little kids.
They already have that. You can't, I mean, they have stipulations like that already. EBT already has its stipulations, how long a child can be on there, and depending if their school age, how much money you'll get if the kids are in school. They actually, if you homeschool, versus do they go to a school? If your kids are past 18, if they're still in school and enrolled in a college, which takes nothing but a social security number to check, run it and see, then they'll still allow that child to ride it till probably college age, graduate, for a while. And if they're still in a home and not working, they'll continue to let you ride. I'll come back to what I think on that. And just say that question. Because I'm going to come back to the grocery store. So we're in the grocery store, first week of school, getting some stuff for my daughter's lunch because she doesn't want to eat the school lunch. Don't forget also, EBT ties into free school lunches. So I'm just waiting to see if some people going to have the same energy who haven't realized their children are eating lunch for free thanks to the EBT system. It became too difficult to feed some for free and not others. So they just looked at the whole and said, that's about everybody getting some type of government benefit. If it ain't nothing but a VA check from your phone, they allow everybody to get free lunch now. I'm going to come to that. Back up. What's going to happen there? Because we discussed those things. So I'm in the grocery store. This is August. They made the announcement. When it came to my life, I saw some people pushing their buggies. I paid for my food. Got on out. This was the first day in all my life that I ever saw a kid crying because he did not understand why he didn't get his, let's call it fruit roll, his gummies. He didn't get his box of gummies that his mama kept promising him in the store. Be good, or you want your treat. We all know bribing children to do right with food is one of the best. Everybody does that. It's the best method that works. Do you want a treat? When you're in a store with toddlers and small kids and you by yourself and you got a buggy, you got a grocery shop and the one that's walking, and you want them to act right, you just bribe them with food. Go over there. You want your cookies? Okay. Well, you're going to have to act right. Stay by me. Hold on to this buggy. Don't walk away. You bribe them with food. So imagine a woman EBT, get into the register, finding out she didn't get notified. They don't have an emailing system. They don't have an alert system to let you get updates on EBT. They don't work like that. You get what they tell you every 6 months, twice a year, and that's going to be that until, period. So you know what's going on. You know the dealio. There's no system in place to have let you know. Oh, by the way, our EBT system will be crashed on Monday. Don't go shopping in, or she's going to be embarrassed standing at the register with no other form of payment and crying kids. On that day, I saw women who looked like me. They didn't look like Bonquisha and them from the project, from the alley, or just sorry, busted and disgusted, left behind, tied, delayed, and all type of things. They look like regular women. I saw when I was loading myself in the car, I was looking. I'm observant like that. I'm looking at these women that was just caught off guard, didn't know what to do, and so they pushed their buggy up front. And they kept walking out. What I didn't notice was anybody walking out with their head up who was not able to proceed with the checkout. That looked like a walk of shame, baby, because you got your children with you. So when you add kids to the equation, it get real ugly, y'all. See, when you add kids to the equation, it gets ugly. See, it's easy for you to walk with yourself and try to hold your head up and try to act like you got it all together and you ain't thinking about nothing and it don't affect you. That might work. But try that with them crying kids in the buggy, one on Pampers that you can't get, child care resources is shut down, and the other toddler over here crying because now they don't have any food. That's why your buggy is full. You're shopping for the month. For some people, they go ahead and shop for the month. I can't do that. That's too much packing. I try to shop for about 2 weeks. On about 2 weeks, as far as I'm willing to think out. Sometimes it's only a week, but some people come in and shop for the month, which is why you see these overfilled baskets of food. Y'all those folks are shopping once for the month. That's their monthly groceries of what they got left after they done either sold, stole, or did whatever else with the amount they've allotted to do other things with. We're not going to deny that EBT is grossly abused, but we are not going to deny that it's also excessively used as it should be and profitable.
No, you're right. One final question, Peachy. When November 1st comes, do you think people, I mean, they're already complaining and bitching now. Do you think they're going to protest? And how long do you think this cancellation going to last?
Right. Now, I got questions for that. We got some folks who lying already. So this is why I'm telling y'all. I saw a lady on there. I'm like, lady lying. She come on there trying to talk about, I got dressed, got up, took a bath. Why you need to tell she got up and took a bath and comb your hair and brush your teeth? That's a red flag right there. You're supposed to do that anyway. Talking about she's getting ready to go out and do her recommended community service hours so that she could get her food stamps. Okay, somebody lying there because the only people that they ask to go do that type of stuff are people getting welfare. So be very wary of those people. I didn't see that nowhere in any of my reading and studies that the requirements for that have been put out. And if they were, how you already doing it? Like, okay, I'm not going to confirm that or deny it, but it was very suspicious. And I'm going to tell you why. Don't tell me what you're about to do. Let me see you doing it. Until I see actual people at a center volunteering, doing community, or sitting on the side of the road, picking up trash and getting signatures like a typical community service works, and getting some type of credit shown, because there's all type of ways. Anybody that know you can forward some community service. Let's not play games, people.
You're right.
So I'm like, right. You want us to believe that you're getting up and going to do 15 hours a week in community service for food stamps. Well, that doesn't make, knowing how the program kind of works. Well, if you got to do 15 hours a week in community service, that's excessive. How they know you able-bodied? How did they get all that information to know, can you get to community service, where to do it at? Because some of y'all act like you're slow and delayed, and you are. And how in the world did you find a place that won't show service? Community services places are limited. We have a lot of people that do stuff in the community, but you can't just call me and say, hey, Beachy, I want to come and do some community service, aka we're going to tell you no, thank you. We appreciate it, but what you can do is attend an event and come up awesome stuff. We don't allow outsiders to just come in and start help. We don't need your help. We don't need nobody to pass out food, drinks, a nap. We got it all covered. We want you to just come and get the service. So I was side-eyeing that like, hold on a minute now. Where you going? We didn't get to see any of that. They're not showing that. So they're lying. I'm just telling you now, they're lying. They're lying.
Yeah.
They're pretending they're going anywhere to do something now. And those are particularly for folks that was getting cash benefits because they're saying, well, if you can't work, can you do something? But because the government is shut down, y'all got to think, well, hold on. How do they have time to implement all that when y'all can't even stay on the clock or not? You don't even have to be on the clock. There's no reason to shut it down. It runs itself. You might can't take new applicants. There may be people, let's say all the people who just, and I'm gonna bring y'all around to the cabal and the New World Order and why I use those words in those names. Y'all don't think it's mighty convenient the people who could benefit off the food stamps just got laid off a month ago, and then they turn around and shut off. Those people apply. They apply now. If I had a government job making $5,000 a month, whatever, and I've been out of work, do you know, even just a week out of work, I'm eligible for those EBT benefits. Well, damn, so now it's my time to get it and it's shut down? Well, yeah, that's 4 million people that you would have had to add onto a program that every 4 million person that got cut off, it qualifies for EBT now. So that's a lot of more. You think, look, 4 million people lost their job. That ain't including how many people in their household are affected. So that 4 million, I don't know who want to try to do the math on that. Average household got 3 to 5 people. They're gonna include in that allotted amount for the stamps. We're talking about $10 trillion. I don't know what 4 million people being laid off calculates into the EBT fund, but you're using your mind, you will see where that's pretty astronomical. Because if it was me,
yeah, it's a big number.
Still in my household number would include my daughter in high school and a son in college. So that's 3 of us. So that would use a 3-person those numbers for 3 people, not just me. They're not going to just feed me. They're going to feed your household because it's the household income that got lost. And that's I lost my job, but the household suffering. So they feed the house. So now you see what I'm saying? Yeah. They didn't want people to what did they not want the people to figure out? Wait a minute. If I work and do the math and I pay this much on groceries after I bring home everything, I might as well just stay at home. I'm going to say that for the day when the right person know how to sit on the link and do the math. While some people have just can look and do the math and say, well, this doesn't benefit me at all to go back to work. I'm getting $3,000 a month in food stamps. This much in unemployment. Y'all paying for my insurance now because I had to put the kids on Medicaid because y'all took my health care or whatever the case may go. They might start looking a little differently at the world, which is why those workers it's good to know a worker in the food stamp /EBT office, y'all, because they will tell you how many people really are on there. Everybody and their mama or somebody and their cousin. Don't try to act like nobody knows anybody on those on some type of resources like that or purchasing them to buy. It's just not plausible. Okay. The people in the food stamp office find a way to put their child on somebody else's stamps. It's all type of corners that are cut so that these benefits are the way they are. Yeah, you got to do some lying, but you got to do some lying. You got to kind of play the system, but I can't really say it's wrong. When I gave y'all an example of hungry, homeless, cold, and dark because, well, you're not getting the EBT and you lost a Section 8. It's cold because you allowed EBT program to pay for your heating in your home, and they're no longer going to do that right when it got cold. So y'all see the timing? This is what I want y'all to catch out of this live, the timing of things. So you can know how to mentally start getting yourself together for it. Oh, now I ain't got no gas and it's cold. Can't even cook. Some people can't even cook because they use gas. And that's why they use that on the application because how you gonna give me food but I can't cook it? If the residence that I live in requires a gas stove, I can't do nothing about that. Well, the owners can, but typical renters, which are on these programs, can't change out their gas stove. So guess what? They gotta have gas. So that's why EBT, the food stamp program, said we'll pay the heat, and you do need some that. You can't cook without the electricity. It all needs a plug. So they offered that program. So if you allowed yourself to get on every last program, then right now you are stuck like Chuck. You understand, son?
Yeah, yeah, I'm listening.
All right. Anybody got a question? Okay, let me go back up here. Owen says the government shutdown is a purge. Yes, Owen, it is. It is.
Yo, what up, big old salute?
They cut them off
No,
every 90 days. No, no. I don't know. They don't. Are you saying right now? Okay, I see what you were saying for right now. They didn't give a timestamp. Okay, so a question was asked. How long? It wasn't ZX, but okay. There's no Except someone said, "Hey, Diva." If there's a Diva here, hey, I just see hey and peace and Diva. I don't see you, so if I don't see you, I don't know why I don't see you. But hey, and thanks for coming over. Listen, right now we don't know. The answer is not forever, ever, but it's on pause.
mm,
Like we're breaking up, but I'm gonna get back with you. So right now, EBT has broken up. The EBT has broken up with its lover, which would be the women and consumers and men. Don't act like y'all do not profit. Oh yes, you do. You profit heavily off a woman with a packed fridge, fed kids, and all she got to worry about is you, making sure you happy, because she ain't asking you to bring home the bacon. She already got it. See, don't act like you're not gonna. We all start seeing a whole bunch of attitudes from women. They ain't got time for sex. You cannot dig them down. They don't want you. You dig, okay, big O? Keep it to yourself. You ain't digging nobody down for this season, because unless you giving them unless y'all about to start tricking with these women, they don't care about the dick. Watch how y'all find out your sex really wasn't as bomb as you thought it was. She was just
damn.
sad and happy and good. I don't think a hungry person thinking about an orgasm or can even produce one, because they lack the necessary chemicals and things that are produced. The oxytocin, all those things come out of, a normal body functioning at its healthy capacity, which is not starvation or a baby that's crying in there that you don't got no formula for. See, these women are about to have so many problems put on their shoulders, whether it was created of their own or not, whether it was due to lack of whatever or not. It doesn't matter who, where, why. The problem is it's here now, and it's on their shoulders. And as men, if you ain't got it now, it's going to get real for you all, because the girl that you thought was so sweet and so cute and y'all just having a good time, well, she don't care nothing about you. She got a baby that won't stop screaming and crying because it has colic. And if your baby has colic, you already know that you can't even breastfeed. You have to use that $61 can of infant milk. You have to use the formula program that's programmed for your child's gastro issues. And a lot of babies have colic. So no, you ain't trying to get dick down with the baby back there screaming and crying. His stomach, the baby's stomach won't stop hurting. You need a specific type of formula. Is not they pulling off the shelves, because they know the first thing that's easy is to steal is something in the can. Okay, let's go ahead and steal out the cans of formula that you can. I'm just speaking to you what people are going to do. They're not that no one in America can say in this country we got babies starving. I'll wait.
No, you make a good points, and it's and what blows my mind, you talked about this in June, right? So you've been aware of this since June, maybe a little bit before, because you
Right.
actually did your
Well, when they
research.
got the Project 2025 is when we read, oh wow, that's a lot of cutting before
No,
the election.
but
Yeah.
people start reacting once we're getting closer to November. It's like too little. It's not late, but the damage been done. If people actually done their research and acted like months ago, probably things would be different now. Do you agree with
Okay,
that?
now Hassan, let me hold your feet to the fire.
Okay.
Because it's all this really is y'all Hunger Game hashtag Big O. We did no, I didn't do Section 8. I didn't come on that. You're more than welcome. It would, but no, because right now the crisis is hungry. Because see what people can do, they can pack together like a pack of wolves. Okay, they can squat. I told y'all on for Section 8, these people are not about to be homeless. It's so many open house. It's more open, empty houses out here than there are people living in them. Communities put up with brand new houses just sitting there. What do you all think I would do if I was in a situation and I lost my Section 8? I have nowhere to go. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look over there and find an empty house in a community, and I'm about to go squat because I know I've read the squatter laws and they're very loose. They don't carry much weight, which is why some people, why I learned too, boy, you become a homeowner of several properties, you better have somebody watching your house and don't allow somebody to get in there. If they break in and start staying there, trying to get them out, is the police can't drag them out. Can't nobody force them out. You better out burn. I'm not gonna say that. That's a crime. The burn. But you're gonna have to suffer with somebody over there living in my house for free. I can't even move in any tenants. I'm gonna lose income. Pray to God they're not tearing it almost up, which they are. No squatter leaves a house better than they found it. They in the house doing remodeling and everything on it. That's what's gonna happen. So squat folks
That's
know how to squat. Squatters laws suck. Those people are gonna just go into an empty house and start living there with their kids. Okay.
damn.
Who
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's what they're gonna do. We're not gonna have people lined up on the streets with tents. That's not gonna happen. That's some skid row shit. These folks are gonna just go into a house in a community that no one's living in, and just going up in there. So as Dio said, so winter is coming. Yes, DOD, that's the thing that was on my mind the other day. I said, boy, winter is coming. Y'all mean to tell me they couldn't do this in the spring or summer? You wait till it's cold. You know darn well that EBT program consists of all these resources, from heating for cooking. That's why they asked on those applications, what do you use to heat your, and they don't come and check. By the way, let me tell you how loose these applications are. They ask, what do you use for heating or cooking? If you say gas, they don't come and check the place you're staying for to see if you're telling the truth. You could just lie and say they require gas, and I can't pay for gas. Gas is expensive to heat your home. Gas is you got to pay the gas bill. So they'll cover your gas for you. So that's what I'm saying. And they losing a little bit more than food, okay? I don't know if y'all aware, but I just wanted you all that are aware to be aware. What's all that comes in that SNAP benefit package. Some more benefits than others. Some's just getting the food. And I'm gonna come back to what Hassan said about the killing, the hurting, the stealing by any means necessary. Okay, this is the test of, let's see what's gonna happen. Which is why I'm glad we spoke on it back in June, so we won't become the people who are just regurgitating what other folks are saying on Twitter and Instagram and such. Not, we already said we see people stealing steaks now. We saw after COVID when they started locking up deodorant in certain communities. I got to ring a bell, wait in Walgreens on my side of town, which is a middle-class neighborhood, but they want to lock up our Tide Degree deodorant. Now, if you want the cheap stuff, they don't lock that up, but anything with a name and a label on it is locked up. I mean, you got to stand there for it. In some stores, sanitary issues for women, they got that. That's like embarrassing. I got to ring the bell and hear customer needing assistance on sanitary aisle, or it may say aisle too. It may not exactly say sanitary. Sometimes I have heard, triggering words, but I tend to not go to those stores if I can avoid it. So after COVID, people were stealing, coming in the shell, just taking it, deodorant, detergents, these things that people didn't realize. Wait, that's a lot of money. You walk out with a big thing of Tide, that's $20 a pop. That adds up pretty quick. So now the detergent has been locked up along with the deodorant, toothpaste, any high dollar toiletry has been guarded for years. So what Hassan, what you really should have been asking me is not since June where people starting to think, what if they lock us all down? Since COVID should have taught people. Well, dang, I never thought I'd come. I came in here to try to get me some salt. I can't believe they locked up the detergent. Or you got to ask a cash register to get some from behind the register. There's some things they're not even putting on the shelves. Wait, I never knew. I would have to ask for certain things. I forgot what it was. I think I needed some batteries or something in there. I had to ask them for batteries. And then, like, you can't just walk off and put in your buggy. You got to pay for it right there.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Or they'll walk you. They're not going to unlock it and trust that you're going to pay for it. They're going to walk you to the register to make sure, oh, you need to pay for that now. Or you know, like, that's how the security is working with the locked up stuff. Okay. Oh, and let me get down to what you said. So yeah, so winter's coming, bum rush to homes. Yes, they're going to. I mean, all it takes is about 5 families in one community, and it's bum rushed. You cannot force those people out. I know it hurts. I don't like how it feels either. But the thought. Let me tell you how serious squatting is. Y'all got to be careful letting people stay with you. Because after a certain number of nights, they've become a resident of your own property. Until you got to evict them out. Here in Alabama, it's if anybody it comes to your house and stays overnight for a day past 14 days, they include them now as a resident in your place. I'm pretty sure that number changes per state, but be wary. BG trying to help y'all. Be wary if somebody hits you with we just need a place to stay to this for a week. And that week they're not going to leave. Then one more week, now you're going to have to go through the courts to evict them out. If they say, I'm not going, you cannot make them go. You cannot file trespassing charges. No, you cannot. You can't do any of that. The police officers, when you call them and say, these people in my house and won't leave and they're trespassing, when they get there and they ask them, how long have they been here? You know, people can show they've been there for so many days. That officer's going to say, you're going to have to evict them. And yes, you're going to feel some type of way. Wait, what? What you mean I can't get them out of my house? If you touch them, touch their stuff, put their stuff out illegal, a legal eviction started at $5,000. As a landowner, a property owner, I'm telling you, if I legally evict somebody, they can sue me for $5,000.
What the hell? I didn't even know that.
So DOD done let somebody in. DOD done moved Owen and his kids in, trying to be nice, and now they can't get out of his house. They have nowhere to go.
But Peachy, can you make them sign a contract? Like, you got to be out by this day and this month, and they sign the contract.
Yes, but who thinks like that? Who somebody? You got to be a smart person, which I'm trying to wake up now. You should, knowing that. Hold on, if I let them in and I can't make them leave, they could be here for a year. The eviction court is a 3-month minimum. Plus, you can ask for an extension on eviction if you're homeless. That's 6 months minimum, and they can add in another. Basically, they can ride out a 3-month. What it would take a 3-month court eviction, and with the courts being overflowed during COVID, it was a year. You couldn't get. Some people are still riding off of one eviction. So you're talking a minimum 6 months. You're going to have to put up with them, even if the courts are moving swiftly. The process is going through. You're going to have to put up with them for 6 months. Yeah, in a house with you. You know what type of tension grows in that time? Somebody going to get hurt. Like, that is terrible. You cannot put them out. Even if you lock them out, so let's say they leave and they go somewhere and they had a key. Of course, you probably gave them a key. Well, you know, so they can get in and out. If you change the locks on them, all they got to do is go down to their courthouse, file illegal eviction on you, and now you owe them $5,000. If you put their stuff outside their house, they tack on something else, and now you paying the people who you let stay with you for a couple of days. Where they do that in America?
And this is your house.
Yes, Damn. It's yours. Your name's on. They don't need a lease or anything. There are leases which, some people complain about it, but I would do month-to-month lease. So meaning you per month how I feel if you deserve to stay here. You'd have to be a very desperate to accept that, but yeah, some people do accept month-to-month leases, and people coming in, if you don't write or tell them verbally and they agree, you're on a month-to-month. So they are subject to a typical 12-month lease. You can't do anything about it, but suffer and be miserable and mad at them for coming in and taking over your house. God forbid. Now listen, Hassan, this is when it get ugly. God forbid they allow anybody else in. What can you do about it? You can't tell them they can't have company.
No, hell. That's too far now, Peach. That's too far now.
But Hassan, they're a resident. If you had a roommate, have you never had a roommate or share a resident with somebody? You can't tell them, oh, your friend can't come over with their kids and stay. You can't. You don't have the right to do that.
Hopefully Trump can change that rule since he's been changing a lot of stuff.
Well, I don't see anywhere where they got to the squatting laws. I did see someone else trying to do something about that, but they didn't want that person, and those things were up for your local congressman. Somebody just quit caring about squatting and those things. It seemed like it wasn't that important when that probably before they understood.
But now the question is, I wonder how many people unalive people from that situation. They say screw it.
That type of tension. Yeah, you in a home. Now imagine those same people that came into that home, benefits are already cut. That's why I'm telling y'all got to see past the people making fruitless threats online. I'm telling y'all now, if y'all like there's a couple of women, I've been seeing the title, Black Women Threaten to Kill People if her stamps are cut. Ma'am, the stamps have already been turned off. If you didn't get yours yet for the month, consider yourself lucky. But everybody after November won't be getting renewed for some time.
November is next week.
Well, then why haven't you killed anybody? See, you're not gonna. Well, you thought you was gonna scare the government and say, "Oh, let's push the button and turn it back on." October's food stamp benefits on October 1st renewed for the full month of October. So everyone, if you happen to fall into October, consider yourself blessed. You'll still receive your next benefits, which can fall from today all the way up to the 31st. Everybody else, if your date was the 1st. My gosh, you missed the cutoff. Okay, you won't get yours for the month of November, and even if the government goes back and that was you asking on the timeline. If the government opens back up, it's still going to be a delay in opening back and reprocessing and getting everything back working. Which is why they've told in writing there's no promise date on when they'll start back. We don't know where. As soon as the government opens back up, we can try, but for now, at least expect November and December to be messed up because it takes some time to reboot. Actually, it really don't. If you already on the EBT, you shouldn't have even been getting cut off. And here's why. Your car is working already. It renews itself in the system. It's like it loads itself. EBT doesn't load itself on that day that you receive benefits. So let's say we're using me. Let's say I get benefits on the 15th of every month. Mm-hmm. It already renewed itself on October 1st, on the first day of that month. I just can't use it to the 15th. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like a direct deposit that you just can't use yet. They don't free it up till that date. So basically, there is no reason to pause that, which is why I'm side-eyeing the New World Order. Like, hold on now. Y'all know that it only takes a button to turn those things on and off. If no one turns them off, then anybody who's on it now, they'll just continue to be on it. If the government shut the food stamp office, et cetera, then yes, no one can process applications. No one's sitting at the job. No one can check, verify income.
So Pete, so literally they're doing it on purpose to see the reaction.
Come on, one time, Hassan can see through the nonsense. Did y'all see? It didn't take him 8 hours of commentary to see through the I take 8 hours in a panel full of 40 people, rotating in and out for him to figure that out. You're intentionally doing this. Now, Why would anybody intentionally do this? Because I'm going to ask you that. I'm going to ask you, what's your answer? Just thinking. You don't have to come to you right away. Just y'all kind of think in the
Well,
chat.
for
Anybody.
me, they can profit out of this, make money, and if people lose their mind, they get arrested because prison is also a big business for them. So they're looking at it money wise, power and control. That's what it could be more, but that's how I'm looking at it. Like
Right.
we
Okay.
control
So,
we control you. We say when you guys breathe, stand, and if you do anything
right.
about it, we throw you in jail.
Right. I mean, what can you do? You can't, even though you should know how it operates, it works, you've been on it, you should be confused and targeted. You should feel, well, not confused, but clarity. Actually, you should be kind of, let me retract that. You should be confused as to how other people aren't getting. This is intentional. Just like I was able to figure out those 2 days they closed, they had the EBT food stamp system shut down the week of school starting back for the year. I said, no, y'all did that on purpose to see who wouldn't even send their kids to school to do a study to see, well, we shut it down and some kids, mighty funny this year, some people's kids didn't start school to the following week. Like, how's it going to affect? They wanted to see for one day, they're running tests. Let's see in one day how much money the typical food store, whether it's a Sam's Club, they take EBT. Costco takes EBT.
Mm.
Dollar
But
General, Family Dollar, Target. Okay.
PJ, I remember seeing a video and the guy was explaining the Corona lockdown. That was like a mini test to see how people react, what they can get away with. He said the second wave is going to be worse. Maybe this is the beginning of it.
Right.
You
I mean,
know.
it is. This is the beginning. So if I was, let's say I'm one of the members of the cabal, and I was the one that said, well, you guys, I want to give me the EBT people. I want to see every store accepts it. There's no store that does not accept EBT at this point. Everybody, okay, from Target down to your lower pit stop gas station accepts EBT food card, okay, in whichever type of community, from the upper to the lower, they accept that as a form of payment. Now, I want y'all to think. If I wanted to run a study, all I gotta do is shut it down for one day, and we divide up our demographics, divide up our states. Let's say I got Alabama and Georgia. I'd be able to look at my region and my demographic and saw that, wow, in one day, those stores lost, 2 million in revenue. This chain. Now I know which chains I can run because let's see who's using them the most, the least, and then you start breaking it down per. Oh wow, it's not just the people who need us. Now you stores, y'all need us too
Yeah.
because the EBT people are shopping pretty large. They got a couple of thousand. And I'm also going to come back around. Don't let me forget, you guys, to talk about the foster care system and how they're getting it the worst. They're able to go into a store, like I said, those buggies y'all be seeing when people they got two buggies, they pulling one buggy with one hand and pushing with the other, and you're like, dang, what were they shopping for? Well, that person's able to spend about 1,000 or two on groceries at that time because they've got most likely some SNAP and some assistance. You combine kids and households, you can run it up, okay? All it takes is a social security number and a child, and that's an additional $200 per head. At that, I mean, you do the math. So you can put one. I could put on an application. I could ask a son. Let me add your two kids. I don't even know if you got two kids. I'm making this up, guys. Keep in mind, this is all scenario. True ways of methods of doing it, but we're being fictional about the actual parties involved. I could ask her son, can I use your kids and put them on my food stamp application, and then I'll give you 100 per kid off of it, and up mine $2. Hassan will probably say, well, what do you need? Nothing, just your social. Okay. Because Hassan just realized, well, I don't qualify. They don't give me any, but you can get them for my kids? How? I just got to add them on the application. See where I'm going with this, y'all? This is why I said everybody, some type of way, figure out how to benefit and profit. Those who hadn't, just didn't realize another party, the benefits of other people them in their attitudes and their moods, their casualness about life. I'm gonna tie that into that, the mentality of that. When you don't got anything to worry about, hey, life is great. You know, you worried about anything. You getting a son, kids on the stamps, you got your kids together, you done came up about $2,500 on the food. You don't eat that much. You can't eat that much. You don't even want to sell it. You give a son 5, you keep the other 2,000. Everybody's house wins. Now, this is what the government didn't predict would probably happen with the hustlers and po folk and people who know how to get it. They didn't put that into the the all-knowing, all-powerful people. They didn't think that people would get real clever about how to add on or just straight up just lie, lie to the point of adding on. Just look, we don't have to be clever. Just excessively lie to the point of, oh, okay, look, this is the story. Son, your kids are staying with me right now because you don't got any place to stay. And that story works. No one can check. Hassan's not applying. You can't make him show up there and say he lives with me. No one has a system. The government can afford to run that type of. I'm in the house and check. There better be 15 people living here, like you said, and we better see 3 kids. They don't have that ability. They don't have that, even with the Section 8. And
no, Peachy, maybe they do have it, but they just don't give it to them about it.
That would require, well, they could create those type of things. Now, just like, keep in mind, this government shutdown, everybody's job ain't coming back. And now because they're thinking we'd rather have, instead of this job, we need somebody to come in and verify houses. Yeah. Okay, that's going to be a lot of people in a lot of houses, but it can be done. I mean, you can still stage anything. See, here's the thing about life. You can fake it, and the internet showed everybody how to do that. You can fake anything. You still cannot prove that I'm not keeping Hassan kids for a while and that I need to feed them. And he's granted me permission. You see how I'm going? They can't. The rules keep. It's like a virus.
Yeah.
This is this is how a real virus works. It evolves. So even if you cut mine off or won't let me get it for some reason, I can take on his children at mine. We're still winning. We both cut everybody plays their part. Because no one's going to rat on the other because, hey, we both will be charged. Their penalties for EBT fraud are pretty high, like prison, actual prison time. Not you can pay us back. You're going to go to jail and pay us back. So their penalties are pretty high for anybody who trying to think, you know what, I'm going to do that. Hey, you better have a solid partner because those penalties for EBT fraud are excessive, okay? And they will make sure you give them back every dime. So you get caught, just know you got greedy and you went too far. But that's how some of those workers and people that are working, the most ran EBT fraud, y'all, are from the workers in the establishment. I know. I got a friend or two that works, you know, the one here. I mean, the stuff I would hear, like, I never thought about that. Oh, okay. No, you don't qualify because you work for the government and your income clearly is more. So you stuck along with your dad, who's a disabled vet. And then you figured out from there, he can, if he adopts your child, see, I'm about to open up y'all. Benefits now, forget food stamps, that child's open for free college, extra check coming in a month, along with all type of things. Now do y'all see where I'm going with this? Yeah. The government became its own worst enemy, and it's a virus. They don't know how to contain the virus. If you think for a second, you'd never be a woman that would think like that. I would not let my dad adopt my kids. Oh, you think you wouldn't? When you do the math and you realize how much college tuition is, your children nobody can make your child live with your dad. It's just the signing of some paperwork. And now your kids are guaranteed for the rest of their lives additional income, free college, and healthcare, and all these benefits, all of a signature. I don't know. I can't say I wouldn't do that because I've seen it done by women above my income bracket.
Oh yeah. It's like
Yeah,
they say, if you know how to work the system, go for it. But if you get caught, then you're in deep shit.
right. Which is why some families just don't deal with outsiders. They just keep it within themselves and not have to worry about. Well, we're not going to tell on ourselves. While we do that, everybody wins. This is the virus that the government didn't know would grow that excessive. Well, they underestimated the people. They underestimated the people's mind and ability to start thinking like AI, how AI progresses, put a thought in the fact that when my kids went to daycare and that lady could not understand, and I was so frustrated. I never could get not even $1 off of my child care. I was paying for the two boys, uh, right at a little bit over 800 a month, and we just paid it every week. It was like 100 per kid, so 200 a week. I don't know what it is now, but it was 200 per week for two children at that time, and I'm talking like 20 years ago, so I don't know what it costs now.
Yeah.
Boys, so I just paid it and went on to work on about my business, and she couldn't figure out something blocking your application. This ain't right. They all getting there. I don't understand. You ain't making that much money. I'm like, no. I mean, I'm decent, but not enough. Not to the point of, yeah, I would like to keep that 800 a month. How do I do it? And she kept. I think 3 times I applied, and I was like, after I don't they won't give it to me. And she's like, you ain't making it, like, you ain't got it like that. And it's 20 years ago, y'all. I don't, I didn't have it like that. And then
Mm.
somebody whispered in my ear, a simple check of a box would have changed all that. Do y'all know how I felt? How my spirit felt? I felt so defeated when I'm like, oh wait, I'm not gonna give you the answer. No, because I had to sweat and cry and I couldn't get it. So you gonna have to gonna have to get it out the mud. I ain't telling you. But she told me, she said, let me help you, honey. Next time, tell your friends, this is all you had to do. And I wanted to just throw up over myself. I wanted to bang my head against the wall. Nobody taught, college did not teach me that. My bachelor's degree, and I was in graduate school at the time too. None of them taught those type of skills. How was I had to get the hustler had to tell me, oh, all you had to do was check this box here, and you would have had that $800. It had to be like 8 something because it was more than my mortgage at the time. I remember saying my daycare cost more than my mortgage, so my mortgage probably was like 7 to start a home. You know what I mean? And then here's daycare 8 something. It was like, how did this happen? Or my mortgage, they were close, but I was paying more for daycare than I was a mortgage. But can you imagine how I felt doing that? So you mean to tell me about a technicality, a small technicality that I overlook, that the government can't control? They can't undo that technicality. You mean because of that and me not knowing how many, of course I did the math, 800 per month until my kids started kindergarten, starting from when they were little. Do you know I did the math? I don't want to, yes, you do the math. So we're talking at the minimum 5 years. I had 2 boys in daycare, spending $800 a month. I don't even want to talk about that math. Even in 2025, 26, there's still a high number that I didn't even have to pay. All I had to do was check a box.
Damn.
The stroke of a pen. Hassan, you know why in war they say, well, who wins, the sword or the pen?
The pen.
Who you gonna pick?
The sword of the pen. The pen.
Yeah, right. And no one can ever defeat the pen, because I could fight, I could cry, I could do all of that, and I still had to write that check for that daycare every week in the amount of 800 and some odd dollars. But with the stroke of a pen, that would have changed all of that. And I would have had to pay very little. If I may not have gotten all of it paid for, but they would have paid at least 90-85% of it, freeing
Damn.
up thousands upon thousands for 5 years. And I could have upgraded my home, had a bigger home, had all time. I could have done all of these other things with, because of the stroke of a pen. Of course, I felt some type of way. Of
Now
course,
imagine the other thousands of people. At least you got lucky. Somebody told you about that little box. Imagine how many people still don't know about that little check box till this day.
Right. Well, you better get with the winning team. Find some people who are winning and ask questions. Cutting
But
off Supreme says cutting off government benefits is to force vulnerable women into relationships, which will make more babies to solve birth shortage. Well, Owens, the birth shortage have you been in a room yet in an OBGYN's office? You do know what you just said contradicts. If there's a birth shortage, then how, when they stopped the anti-abortion came in? Have you seen how many babies are packed? I had to go in for a separate procedure to the OBGYN all summer to get something done for a surgery. I'm not having any more kids ever. Never. It's been that way for the last 15 years. But when I had to go in there and I saw how many pregnant women and with babies, and I hadn't been around that many babies, and God knows when. I guess the last time even when I was pregnant, why are there so many appointments? I don't understand. There's been a surge in births because you know why? You can't go and just get rid of it. You can't do that anymore. And I'm not going to tell you which demographic I saw in there more than anybody else. You can't just go down there and take care of the problem anymore. You got you got a pill, a plan B pill that has to be taken within 48 hours of conception for it to most likely work. And if that don't work, then you got to make it to a state like Georgia to have an abortion. If you're a day past 6 weeks, they will not do it. 6 weeks isn't very far. That's a month and a half. So if you miss a cycle and didn't realize that, that's already a month. So you got 2 weeks to try to find a state that will get you in, and you better hope you're not one. If you're a millisecond, those ultrasounds are very precise. If you're 6 weeks in a day, they're going to send you home. Oh, I know. There are some young girls around here getting real creative, and that's a story for another day. If you really don't want the baby, you won't have the baby. Okay, y'all gonna be start seeing the ER is gonna be seeing a bunch of I falling down a flight of stairs, patients coming in. I ran into a running car. These are I fell off the girl that fell off the roof. What were you doing on the ladder on the roof? Fake hanging up Christmas lights. Let me tell you how creative a female can get if they don't want to have a baby. They would never tell y'all, because you know why? It just sounds so awful. It sounds more awful than going to the abortion. I know. Somebody right now probably mad I said that, but what it was, I can't believe she said that. Why would there's not code. It's science. And before they had the chop shops, they had the witch doctors. You go drink an elixir or some potion and hope for the best. There was all type of things. And then somebody, I don't know how that person discovered a clothes hanger. I grew up in high school with the girl that knew how to use a clothes hanger. You got pregnant, go down to Nikki's house down there by the park, and she knew how to run the clothes hanger through you. It wasn't very sanitary, and I don't remember hearing any complaints. I think a couple people might have gotten sterile unwantedly, to this day haven't produced any kids, but they kept going to Nikki with the clothes hanger. Her name as she was Nikki, and she actually used a clothes hanger to pull out an unwanted pregnancy. I know what y'all are thinking, but I'm just telling y'all how it's been. Yes, to this day, there are women who fall down some steps. There are some other things too, but we want to try to keep the channel up and running. Well, I'm not going to go into all the ways that accidents, and by accidents, I mean planned accidents, can take care of your accident. Y'all see what I'm saying? You can make an accident to take care of another accident that you accidentally created. Yeah, there are ways. There's a million and one ways. They're gonna hurt, and you're probably gonna mess up some stuff, and hey, but it is what it is. Was it easy for people to cop up? $300-400 and go to a doctor, and more sanitary, yeah, and less infections, and most likely not ruin your entire reproductive system. Definitely. But no one's thinking about that when their teenage daughter is 14, a freshman in high school, and she done messed around and got pregnant. No one's thinking about your future. They're only thinking about the now. And they are going to do whatever it takes. If it means you just want to ever have kids again, they don't want that baby coming. I know that I threw that in there and it was a sidebar, but come on.
But hey, Peachy, this has been fun. I appreciate the
Thank you, my son. You want to
but real
close it?
quick,
Please go
uh,
ahead.
in the private chat, I put a channel out. Check it out and check out the video. I think since you like to talk stuff about like you're gonna like this video, and and there's a documentary that's made on this video. It's very very informative, and I don't know, and not a lot of people even know about this, but it got exposed. It was a big story. It's
Ah,
crazy. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Look,
I got it.
check it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna
Other
find them.
than
I'll be there because I need some. I need my mind probe. I can't. I can only. I don't want to hear anything about frivolous arguments over who didn't cash app. Like that. That's petty stuff. I like the stuff that hits real, like clothes hanger Nikki. I would
yeah,
never.
yeah,
I can't even remember that girl's last name, but we referred her by. Do you remember Nikki with the clothes hanger? Oh yeah, how's she doing? Like when questions come up, and we remember
yeah.
people about what they were known for, and that's she's clothes hanger Nikki. She can never not be that. That's how many times she performed illegal acts of deleting unborn fetus. Saying unborn is kind of productive, but y'all get what I'm saying,
Close. Yeah,
right? But
but
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. Check. No, thank you.
I hope you guys were writing your notes. I allow for replay and playback so that people can use some of this, because people don't be giving it to y'all how they need to give it to you. Owens, you're right. Owens, the number. Owens, yes. Now, here's the thing. And I can get off topic a little bit because I can do what I want. Let me tell you why Owens is right. The number of actual, if you really, okay, how do I say this? You want to dominate. They started looking around and realized, oh my gosh, we're almost a minority in here. There are so many mixed babies. The Saudis are over here. They're brown. They're noticing it. Like, why is my kid like one of 3 white kids in the class? Like, they are noticing their whiteness is sticking out. No, this is serious, guys. Even it's not about poverty. It's about the things that cannot be controlled. Something that couldn't have been predicted. There's always an anomaly in everything you do. You can try to come up, like a mad scientist can come up with a perfect equation to decrease population, and it may have worked. But there was an anomaly. There's always an anomaly factor that they couldn't see or had that wisdom or that gift to put in there. Like, well, what if this happens? Black women don't typically procreate with the Caucasian male, so we don't have to worry about them putting out these mixed kids. And most of the white women abort those babies if they get pregnant by a black guy, because if the baby comes out brown, their husband's going to know, they're going to get cut out of the will. So you have upper class white women who repeatedly have affairs just like their husbands, and poor class black women and upper class and lower class folks be cheating outside of their marriage. What happened in the higher class? A lot of the help, the driver, your what's the guy, your trainer, the tennis player, all those help, what they call the help, tend to be non-Caucasian people. And guess what happens when a white woman is around, her husband's off working a lot, and she's around these trained men who are brown and bronzed and exotic, and just they're there, and they're muscular and they're fit, and they're, you know what happens? Folks get to humping, okay? And her husband's been gone for quite some time. You're not going to be able to honey, I'm pregnant, and he thinks it's yours. When you know you've been over there with Cortez, and if that baby come out anything other than white, not only is it not making it in the house, they won't even let them ladies in that type of high income bracket bring the baby home. You about to get written out the will. Their stipulations are so high. Infidelity will get you cut off. Infidelity in those rich families will get you cut out of all your inheritance and all your benefits. If you get caught cheating, they know you're gonna cheat, but if you get caught, you're gonna lose a lot. You're gonna walk away with shit. They just walk out the door, whatever the clothes on your back. It's pretty harsh, okay? On both sides, men and women, the men and the women. Infidelity in the higher class of people has consequences. And I'm not talking about the spiritual ones. I'm not talking about the godly ones. I'm talking about financial. Go ahead out here if you want to. Go ahead and get caught cheating. It's going to cost you all of what you got. And so, how did I go there? Well, I went there to tell you a lot of women. I agree with this comment about them increasing their numbers. Well, these women, instead of being on birth control, you think, well, why wouldn't they just take birth control? That doesn't make sense, Beachy. Well, you guys, the thing about birth control and its accuracy is great, except for the freaking thing that nobody wants to deal with. Birth control makes you get puffy. Oh my gosh, y'all, there are other things. It's like, well, I'm not going to get pregnant, but my God, I had to gain 20 pounds from the extra. You see what I'm saying? Like, now I can't, it gives puts on a little extra stuff that some women don't want to carry. They don't want to carry the weight that a birth control gives. Okay, they just don't want to. Or if they have a history of cancer in their family, they don't want to take it because it increased the risk. And in those certain type of demographics, ovarian and cervical cancer hit them, and breast a lot harder than us demographic. Therefore, they stay away from the pill. So they will run to they probably have chop shop doctors walk in. Okay, no appointment, just come on in. You pregnant again, Susan? Yeah, they just take a nap and wake up and go home like nothing ever happened. People are literally using the abortion system for like a revolving door. That was getting abused more than EBT. Okay, they're just whatever, no discussion, walking in. When I saw them at the mall, they had booths set up with curtains around it and heard women screaming. And what the fuck is that? Oh, that's the abortion clinic set up and next door to Hibbett's. What they doing that at? Is this legal? Yeah, that something did kind of need to be done. Now that was done more in our urban communities. Like you just gonna set up a chop shop with no credentials next door to Hibbett's with them but some curtains around it and some girls back there crying. Okay, that was they was pushing it. These portable, what we call them, are portable or moving clinics. Just like you have a traveling clinic. Looks like you got a traveling nurse, traveling players. They had traveling abortion clinics. It might be next to Hibbett's Monday through Friday and Saturday to Sunday over there, off 2nd Street. They move. And of course, that's unsanitary, along with God knows the ethics of that in itself is diabolical. But back to this number. So they needed their women to get it together. These husbands did not know their women were going down there so much and having an abortion. It might not have had anything to do with even a scandal. It could have been their own husband. I don't want a fucking baby by him. I'm going. Like, y'all know how many husbands have no idea their wives aborted over half of their kids they would have had? They don't have to tell him or get his permission. They just go down there and get it done. There's no proof of it that you never did anything. You don't have to stay overnight. You're gone for a couple of hours, like you went to Starbucks. Hey, we're going to Starbucks. You come back in. I'm kind of sleepy. I got a stomach virus. She lays down. Takes a couple of ibuprofen and she lucky the doctor threw in her some Oxys or some Percocet and she's great. She's up and moving in less than 48 hours, like nothing ever happened. All right. So it's kind of like these men aren't going to know. So the numbers that aren't documented are strong, are quite large for the fact that I can't give y'all that information out. I'm going to save that. I got to say that, Big O. What's up, love? Punani. La Punani. About 888. What's going on? Next door, well, it was in the mall. There was a Hibbett's, usually likes to take around the corner store. So Hibbett's, and then like maybe a little clothing store, and then this 4 square curtain setup. Yeah, next to Hibbett's in the mall, in the urban mall, like these little setups. Only no, it doesn't have a door, no bathroom. I mean, yeah. And some girls walking out have been over crying in pain. Yeah, that was a bit much. But those were cheaper prices. Cheaper prices, higher risk of infection, because you at the mall getting a dang on abortion done. What do you expect? Okay, right next door to when your baby daddy over there, while he go in for a fresh pair of J's, you over here getting a fresh abortion, which costs about as much as his J's. So yeah, y'all naked. I'm just saying the abortion. He buying J's, and you got to get the cheap abortion because he got to get a new pair of J's next door to the Hibbett's that he buying the shoes from. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. That's exactly how it looked. It looked exactly how I'm explaining it. 4 walls, a curtain, and some hidden activity going on in there. But everybody knew what was going on. You got cash only. Now, they didn't take EBT cards. That I can tell you. They didn't take EBT. You cannot use your EBT card. That's not funny, y'all. That's a terrible joke, and I'm not being comical, but that's the one thing I have. Shut down. Yes, guys, the government shut down. If you pay attention and read what's going on, maybe the facts get changed a little bit. I thought y'all was arguing over this. But y'all did it anyway. So if y'all were arguing over minimizing health care for the poor folks, and EBT was also on that same bill, well, y'all still did it anyway. Y'all just made up a reason to shut it down. So if you can't get what you want, the same way the people out here talking about they're going to kill and steal for their food, well, the government has thought a little bit far ahead of you. You haven't planned out your evil genius. You're not an evil genius. You haven't thought years ahead of putting into play an act of seeing how to take out a competitor. All you need is the grocery store that's not going to make it. The grocery stores in the hood and dominantly brown and black folk communities is not going to survive. They know that. Piggly Wiggly ain't going to make it without EBT cards. They might as well just close the door. They can't even afford to pay their employees. All they have to do is look at the demographics, the sales. Tell any store, any establishment would say how many EBT paying customers on a daily basis come in. They look at their revenue. That's how they own you. Same store over here on this. On this side of town, that's a little more lighter. Well, they say, oh, they're not using over there. They ain't gonna really affect them. They're down a few thousand, this many thousand. They can still operate. I know when they were starting to allow them to accept the EBT card at the damn Subway, y'all running some type of test. Yes, and somebody tried to argue Subway don't use EBT. Yes, they did. You just have to use a code, and the person there lied to you. or it's a privately owned subway that just didn't buy the swiper. They don't want to use it just because they don't want your traffic in there. So I have seen people walk out of Subway with so many foot-long subs and swipe that EBT card. I thought, dang, you just spent $100 off of your card. But everybody got 2 foot-longs and all the chips, and I mean, my gosh. Yes, EBT uses works at Subway and a couple other establishments. I can't think off the top of my head. Now, y'all, the homeless people, I guess they just want them to go off and die somewhere. Because how when we say how low can you go is a song, y'all just counting them out the equation? Are they trying to see, I'm trying to, what I haven't been able to figure out exactly. I have my hypotheses, and I'm not going to give you that. I can't give you that. Okay. Because somebody else will run with it. And I put some work in on this, but what the final outcome is going to be once they get their answer, I'm still working on that. And I care not to share that. Not at this time. Not at this time. Let's see what happens before the first of the year. The OTB quote. What's funny is I've been trying to find a delicate, not so political way of saying it's not so dark, but I mean, it's true. I mean, get off Martin Luther King Drive in any state and see how dark it gets. Ain't no street lights not on. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh. Y'all can't, when before I got big, before I got grown and adult, I just thought some places didn't have street lights. But I became a wise adult and looked and saw the street lights were perfectly lined up with bulbs in them. They just didn't chose intentionally not to turn on the street lights on some of the roughest sides of town, the places where it need to be every street lit up. What's going on here? Do you just want them to get? Those are the things I'm not quite sure people are ready to go that deep into. What this EBT is just a part of another test that's being ran. Unfortunately, it's going to be very uncomfortable. But guess what? They're going to do it in a time not long enough where folks going to be dying of starvation. Nobody's going to die from starvation. It's calculated. Okay, this isn't going to be the new Gaza, fake, or whatever they got going on. Because they got to keep the revenue, but they do want to see how they're funding their own revenue. It's all test. Just like I don't know. We shouldn't do that here. Let's save that. I've tried to do that live, and every time I try to do it, I fail because it scares people away. And that's the devil's architect. And the devil's architect consists of the way communities are set up, even the structure of certain streets, the way buildings are set up, the architecture with the whole over the railroad tracks ties into that. Yes, the devil's architect is a thing. And I have not been able to successfully find an individual who wants to take that on, because that's a topic that's going to require actually us going back, researching not only the first railroad system in play, but whose idea was it, where he got that idea, and not only the idea, but how did you know how to structure this in a way that 200 years later, okay, everybody that stay on this side of the tracks is poor as hell, But once you get over this side of the tracks, the income bracket starts going up immediately. Now, I've been in several states, and I am a curious person, and I've already tested the theory. I've intentionally, I turn around as quick as I can now, but I have intentionally went across tracks to see, let me see what happened if it gets real ratchet important. And sure enough, went across those tracks. About 3 houses later, it started to look real scary, and I would do an illegal U-turn and go back. I'm not gonna see how far it gets, but yeah, because I was curious. I can't tell you one time where I was wrong. Every time I was right. Every time I crossed the railroad tracks, the community, depending on, I'm not going to give y'all all my work. I can't, because that's work. I'm not going to tell you was it north or south or east or west, but I can tell you on the other side of the tracks, it gets real. It's so real that I actually tried to do my own. I tried to put myself, like, infiltrate. Oh yeah, I'll be doing some slick stuff. Yeah, I tried to infiltrate the other side of the communities and work with, you know. I'll just tell you here, I failed. I could not convert the other side of the tracks mentality to think like the side of the tracks I wanted it to, by showing or nor teaching them. They were completely inbred to think only one way. And I found that to be frustrating. Why can't you unlearn the behavior that you learn? Your behavior that you learn on this side of the tracks is not good. It's stunning your growth. So I thought I could teach that other side, only to find out it was failed. So the devil's architect is too hard of a topic, even for me to try to break down and take on with anybody. And some people are scared of that. It gets a little spooky. Not to me. It takes a lot to scare me, and I ain't scared. So I don't know. Maybe one day I will. I'm still working on it. I failed on what I thought I could do, but I'm still working on the research as to how far back I gotta, go, and to see who knew how to do that. I mean, that's the type of evil genius. Like, y'all be looking at the wrong folks. Y'all be like, oh, Elon, he's so smart, because he got a little tech savvy. But I be looking at folks. Okay, before Elon, before him, was somebody that decided, you know what, it's just not good enough to have a train. We need the train to go through what we're going to designate. The people don't exist yet. The communities don't exist yet. We're going to sit down and collectively vote that in 150 years past this today, that side of the tracks must remain oppressed and impoverished in a lower class of people. And it not only did it work, it's worked successfully, and it's so far it's undefeatable. Trust me, I know it can't be defeated. What type of entity was this? What's up? Hey, Maze, I was in your chat the other day. Y'all, I don't even know how I got on that, but that's just let you see how my mind operates a little bit. How could they think like that? Who showed them and gave them permission to dictate 200 years later that everybody that's still on this side are going to be poor folks with very little resources? Ain't no stores hardly over there on the other side of the tracks. Y'all, it's so bad on the other side of the tracks. It would break my heart. No, I think it did break my heart a little bit, because I just didn't understand. I still don't understand. And this, we off topic, because I'm almost done with that topic. I gave enough points where enough folks could run in and go try to regurgitate what I said, but they can't give it like I do, you guys. They can't. And I left some stuff out intentionally, so I can catch who I like to see who come over to go take something back, because their mind is stunted. in relationships, black men and black women relationships. We don't give a dang about that right now. We can right now we on this, and we're on program thinking, and they're reprogramming. The own person was right. This is a type of reprogramming going on. So I don't. Who needs to be reprogrammed, because they're not trying to reprogram color people. It would be their own, which would be the majority. They're having to reprogram them. Okay. And from what I've seen, it looks like it's working. They are pushing those babies out in numbers I ain't never seen before. And they're doing very well. Those fields went from, having to almost create problems just to get women to come up in there, to now they just need people to start back having babies at a large rate. I mean, the average birth, what is this, what 100 deliver a baby be like under, around $80,000. You know how much of a payout that is? You got Medicaid, you don't pay anything. They get this rate for free, $80,000. If the woman has to pay a certain percentage of her insurance, you're still getting the $80,000. It's a lot of money per pregnancy. I mean, that's on the minimum level. That's not aftercare and checkups and all the other stuff in it. That's just delivery, including the staff in the delivery room. The delivery floor has been damn near vacant since around COVID, when people just, whatever. Okay, anybody have a question? Because I went pretty far. Okay, this test for the running hungry, like I told you, I got to add jobless in there too, because let's not forget the 4 million people who don't have work and who would definitely qualify with one phone call. They have one of the boxes on the EBT application says emergency food stamps, and the emergency food stamps is for anyone who is quickly, it says, have you lost your job, a source of income, or benefits in your house immediately and need your stamps like immediately, we can expedite it. So those are called expedited services, and where they're not going to take the full month to give you the stamps. You can get your stamps within 3 to 5 days. So yes, 4 million people on the shutdown. Had they not, gave us a fake EBT shutdown when ain't nobody there, like, if you let them people get those benefits, y'all know how costly that would have been. I could probably sit down and think of the math in the average household and come up with a roundabout number, but I mean, you get it. You can kind of get it. If it's right around roughly 200 per person at the minimum, even if for each of the 4 million people, if you just included them and then include their family who also is eligible for those benefits, that's still 4 million people times $200 a month for a guaranteed at least 6 months. They give you the stamps in a 6 months basis, and then the next 6 months you wouldn't renew. That's quite a bit of money. DOD somewhere doing the math. So that's not including the children that they have that are included in a spouse. A lot of homes now don't have 2 working spouses. So y'all took those people, didn't even give them a cushion, because there would have at least been a cushion. Like, we don't got money coming in. I might be going to be late on a couple car payments and this and that, but we got food in the house. That would have been a nice cushion for them to have. But did you have to take that to prove your point? Were they willing to sacrifice 4 million people minus a million? No, not really, because my son still has to feed himself because he doesn't stay on base. So we're going to keep them in there. Did they not consider, or did they? What type of evil genius is this? You knew those people would immediately qualify for these services, which thus would have cost you millions of dollars. I'm going to probably try to do the math on that. I'm going to see if I can pull up a government worker on that scale that they had Most of them have families. These aren't single people, young college kids, without a baby mama, baby daddy. Forget the word family, baby mama, baby dad. They're family people. So you took away their ability to even feed their families at a massive number just so it can save y'all some money. What type of study is this? It is crazy, DOD, because you're thinking like about the math. Every state, the minimum on the EBT for the USDA, the minimum amount is like 187 per person. Okay. Up to 2-ish. So I just rounded it to 2. I took the lowest number, 187, and then put it 2 per person. 4 million layoff. I would do the math precisely if I knew, okay, well, how many of them are probably married or at least have children? Out of that 4 million, I would say at least half of the 4 million, I would say at least 2 million of them at least have one child. I mean, they have a job that they could afford to. And even with 2 million with one child, which would have doubled that benefit from 187 to 400. So you got 400 a month that they would have been able to have for EBT off of one person. Now you do 2 people per household. That's a small amount. So just even at 2 people per household, at half of them, you see how many millions, how they go. And that's for 6 months, not just for a month, but 6 months of feeding them. Because once you qualify, they give you 6 months to be on the program. And then you have to start over and requalify. Kind of expensive, isn't it? This layoff is quite expensive. I mean, it looked like, how do I say this? Who's paying the bill? Who's going to pay the bill? Because even with the people stealing from the stores, what do y'all think is about to happen with these stores? Well, the insurance companies, all of a sudden, watch. Companies got to pay a little bit more for insurance due to theft. They're going to get their money back. All they got to do is report theft. They can just profit. They can't really prove someone's stealing their groceries. What do they call it? Prevention loss. All they got to do is turn in a prevention loss form. Those stores aren't going to go out of business. They'll just tell everybody that they're stealing the food. They'll just write up, drum up their paperwork. Let the insurance pay them. Okay? They're not going to shut down. Nobody's going to see Publix closed. Or are they? I mean, who's the real target? Who are the targets? Because with COVID, yes, COVID took some people out of business who ain't came back yet. People, I thought, how did COVID take you out? When Longhorn Steakhouse was going for 5 years, they just came back, y'all, a Longhorn here. And it's been almost 6 years. And Longhorn Steakhouse just made its way back. So that lets me know, well, yeah, you can be a popular establishment. You're going to get shut, or you can be a mom and pops. It might make it. I don't know. But it's a big hit. It's a lot of money. So, the cabal, I hope don't flag me for saying cabal. DOD, how many people, let me get out of here. We're done. How many people, we got to come back. It's too much. It's more to this, y'all. It's so much more stuff. I'll do a part 2. And I'll come in and add the stuff because I got tired and I forgot what I didn't say because you know how I like to give it. I don't like to be I'm already programmed enough. I don't want to add programming to my programming. It just comes off superficial and, it doesn't hit right. But now that you all know, what you might didn't know before, what the cost of formula is that has to be fed for children 1 and under 1. You will tear a child's stomach up with processed milk. I mean, and it doesn't have the nutrients in it. That's why it's called formula. It's formulated to have all the nutrients in it for brain development, organ development, but proper development of that baby. You take that away, okay, even if you fed them, you didn't feed them the right stuff. So now they not right. You started diluting the formula with too much water so it could stretch out, and they wasn't getting the nutrition. You see what I'm saying? You start finding other ways to feed the baby that just weren't developmentally appropriate. I don't know what that's gonna birth. That's why this shutdown can't last for too long. We're gonna a whole bunch of children gonna be growing up looking like that. Remember that show, The Goonies? What was his name? Anybody remember The Goonies? And the dude that was down in the basement. I can't remember his name, but he liked the candy bars. They're gonna come out with that man looking like that. That's what happens when you have insufficient nutrient development of a young baby. Come out looking like that man off the Goonies. Head not shaped right, eye here, eye there, and So are and don't get me started. Like I said, Medicaid also pays for birth control for if you have Medicaid and your children on Medicaid, they may not allow the adults to be on Medicaid, but they will allow the women to use Medicaid for their birth control. But you can also buy birth control over the counter now too. So that kind of depends on that. Hold on now. You can't put all that on them. Medicaid, I had to tell somebody, and this is an example about the free ski. Young girl, she's not young girl, friend of mine whose daughter, she is young. What I'm talking about, they're still 15. That's a young girl. Is already active, and she's sexually active already. And the first thing her mom started doing is took her to the doctor to get birth control. And I was saying, like, hey, they sell them at the Walmart and Target. You don't have to go to the doctor to write a prescription anymore for birth control. I mean, it's like, what, like $10 a pack for like a 30-day supply or something? It's really inexpensive. And the fact that she was like, yeah, but Medicaid pay for it. And I was like, okay, you about to take her through all of that just to get a free box of birth control? I would. It's already embarrassing that your daughter got, it's already embarrassing that she in the situation she's in and been caught in the way she's been caught. You ain't got to drag in there to get a prescription for birth control. You can just buy some up off the counter. Walgreens, Walmart. Hell, the damn dollar store has something in there. I forgot what it was. Oh, no, they have pregnancy tests. They don't have birth control pills. But, okay, so y'all got a couple of points, okay, to run and magnify. And I'm going to be watching. Thank y'all for coming. Thank you if you hit the like button. I'm going to see what her son, hold on, he gave me somewhere. Hang on, you guys. Oh, gosh. Okay. Oh, I'm guilty on that topic. Do I want to tell on myself? I'm going to think about it. I mean, I would click the link, but that's not the topic. It might it's about taxes, you guys. Anyway, DOD, it was fun. I have his link. I'm going to check that out. Okay. Y'all got some talking points. Okay, I'm going to go, like I said, I got to edit this title. Let me go ahead and do it now. Put jobless. So I don't forget. And I'm going to add government on there. So it's. I spelled that wrong. But I do want to add that. All right, I'm about to go and engage in some other stuff. So thank you. Okay, good. Okay. I'm out of here. Y'all, that was good. Was you expecting to get what you got? I bet you didn't. Oh, I don't want me to edit it right now. Okay, well, I'll just come back and edit it. It won't let me edit right then, you guys. Oh, yes, it did. Okay. Y'all wasn't expecting some of that, right? We've been told them. Hassan, we've been told y'all, me and DLD told y'all, they're going to have chains on the chicken. They're going to be locking down the state. You don't have to, we told y'all it was back in June, how ugly it was going to get. Now, we didn't predict people threatening murder, but, I wouldn't put that off the table. But like I said, those people are just talking because what they is at the point now where you just got to tell somebody, okay, well, do what you got to do. If that's going to help you eat, if you think that's going to feed you by killing somebody, okay. I don't know what type of logic thinking that is, But I'm out, you guys. We don't need an intro. I mean, an outro. We're good. Thanks for liking the video. I'll come back and do the part 2. Let me get. I want to see what I can catch out here lying. I want to see who I can catch lying, based on facts of what I know. Always fun. Oh yeah, the pill. Yeah, once a day. But once you just get used to it. Some people should just have it right by their nightstand, wake up and take their BC. And if you skip a day, you double on the next day. So you should be good. I mean, if you don't want to be pregnant, then come on. It's like if you can, you'll learn to take the damn freaking pill. Those other forms aren't $10. They also have a lot of side effects, and we're not going to get into that. That's not this type of stream. Okay, y'all, we're gone. Thank y'all that came in the chat. It was so many. Thank you so much, Mace. I'm going to come back and see you. Okay, we have fun. That was good, you guys. Part 2, we'll come back for part 2. Let's see how they're going to do. I might wait till after the first. I don't know. Let me see what's going on. Let me check the timelines over there on Black Twitter. Let me see again, catch who's lying, who's adding on, putting, put 10 on 20. Who really like? Now, come on now. That's not how it's going. More than likely, it's the people who are being quiet, aren't saying anything. They're the ones who are really, truly suffering, okay? The ones who aren't saying anything, they're not. There's the ones suffering. They're not jumping on here making a video about what they're going to do and who they're going to do it to. They're sitting somewhere rubbing their palms, probably with their head between their shoulders, because they have absolutely no idea. No idea. And let's not be heartless. This is a heartless stream. This was an informative stream. Thank you very much. This is Beach is Better. I'm out of here, you guys. Don't forget to hit the like. If you come back on the replay and you listen to it, don't be stingy. Hit the like button, okay? All right. Thank y'all. I got to go be nosy because I already see somebody trying to run with it. Boy, I tell you, y'all, man, y'all just want, y'all got to steal everything, don't you? I tell